Thought I wouldn't make it. They all think that you're faking, but seeing ain't believing. I know now. I take all your stupid.
Between filming that video and uploading it, it became official. The Writers Guild of America is on strike. So the WGA is the labor union representing writers across all scripted media. And apparently, a lot of people need to be reminded of this, but you kind of need writers to make TV, movies, video games, even the news. And if the previous 2007 WGA strike is anything to go off of, Hollywood will try its best to work around the strike, particularly by greenlighting just a bunch of quick and dirty reality programming. But a bunch of stuff that you actually like, or are looking forward to, will be getting delayed, taken off the air, or shortened, because they need writers, and the writers are on strike.
Yeah.
And wait, hold on, isn't this supposed to be the tech show? Well, that's just the thing. The reasons for this strike are many, but a lot of it has to do with the ways that technology has changed scripted entertainment, and also has the potential to change it in coming years.
And another thing to point out, we did in the last episode, but you are not going to see the immediate results of this strike.
Yeah, the pipeline is pretty clogged up.
It's about 6 months. So TV, 6 months from now, then everything will air, and after that it'll be affected, and it goes from there. But yes, this is a big deal, and it was 15 or 16 years ago. Most notably, late night shows are already off the air.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now the factor that's getting the most attention on Twitter with this strike, where the dumbest takes imaginable are now algorithmically prioritized, is of course AI, artificial intelligence. These woke Hollywood screenwriters have got another thing coming when ChatGPT replaces them. Learn to code, LOL, or at least prompt.
Crying, laughing, 45-degree emoji.
The boomer crying, laughing emoji. And yeah, AI is definitely on the WGA's list of grievances. And we'll delve into that more a bit later. But at its core, this strike is about what all strikes are about. The writers say they deserve more money, and they cite pretty straightforward data supporting their cause. In this age of more media than any one person could ever possibly consume, writers are working more than ever while making a lot less money than they used to. Here's The Verge with a pretty thorough explanation of this strike.
The WGA is trying to secure a new 3-year contract for its 11,500 members, arguing that the shift to streaming has made it difficult for writers to make a living. There are a lot of complex reasons for this, but the biggest issues boil down to TV shows on streaming services having shorter seasons, residual payments being lower than those of broadcast TV, and the rise of mini-rooms, small groups that quickly produce scripts that make writers more disposable. A report published by the union on March 14th found that half of TV series writers are currently being paid the basic minimum rate, up from 33% between 2013 and 2014. The companies have used the transition to streaming to cut writer pay and separate writing from production, worsening working conditions for series writers at all levels, said the WGA, adding that more writers are working at minimum regardless of experience.
It continues, the union's demands include increasing minimum wage rates and residual payments, addressing the abuses of mini-rooms, and increased contributions to the union's health and pension plan. The WGA also wants safeguards to regulate the use of artificial intelligence in script writing, preventing it from being used to generate content or rewrite work already contracted by human writers. Quote, the company's behavior has created a gig economy inside a union workforce, and their immovable stance in this negotiation has betrayed a commitment to further devaluing the profession of writing, said the WGA West on Monday. From their refusal to guarantee any level of weekly employment in episodic television, to the creation of a day rate in comedy variety, to their stonewalling on free work for screenwriters and on AI for all writers, they have closed the door on their labor force and opened the door to writing as an entirely freelance profession. No such deal could ever be contemplated by this membership.
And yeah, not to defend the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, or AMPTP, the group that represents the studios, which the WGA is in conflict with here, but their side of the story is that they offered a good faith deal with better compensation, but just couldn't come to an agreement with the WGA on stuff like mandatory staffing minimums, where a show would have to hire a certain number of writers for a certain amount of time, even if the projects don't necessarily need it. That still does not account for the vast differences in what both sides want here, though. What the WGA is asking for would result in an overall increase of $429 million per year in pay for these writers, while the AMPTP's counter-proposal would result in an increase of just $86 million. That's
Big discrepancy.
big gap there.
And the real motivation for the studios in this fight is pretty obvious if you've been paying attention. The studios have all been pumping huge amounts of money, some might even say unsustainably huge, into streaming services and content for those streaming services. In 2019, they spent $5 billion on streaming content, and this year they're spending $19 billion. They're profiting more, but they're also spending significantly more, all in an effort to win the streaming wars. And of course, the ones who suffer the most under a system where production demands are high and profit margins are low are the ones whose labor actually creates the product. That's what strikes are all about. Letting the boss find out how much they actually need you so that they can continue to stay rich.
Yeah. Yeah, and they need to be reminded every once in a while. It's not often, but yeah, it's almost like clockwork. It's every 15 years or so.
Well, also just like the natural cost of living increase,
Right.
The fact that rent and everything else has gone up a significant amount. It's like these demands are not unjustified in a lot of cases just for basic living needs.
And what's crazy, in this one, the streaming residuals is a big issue because, you make a lot less money if you make Stranger Things or something like that keeps people coming to Netflix, keeps people watching it, than you would working on an episode of network television where residuals are calculated based on reruns and stuff like that. The 2007 WGA strike was the AMPTP was offering 0 residuals for online content. And they're like, why would you want that? That's nothing. So WGA was absolutely proven right in that strike.
Yes.
They were on the right side of history.
Yeah.
And they were smart to not accept that offer because they would have been even more fucked than they are.
They're protecting themselves. They're trying to future-proof themselves because doing this sucks for everyone.
But let's talk about the AI stuff now, the whole AI aspect of this strike. In just the past 6 months, we have seen artificial intelligence emerge as a threat to various creative fields. And while for the most part nothing has emerged that really holds much of a candle to the work of human beings, there is ample reason to be concerned that by the time the next WGA contract is on the table 3 years from now, things will have gotten a lot more serious. So they are thinking ahead here, as they should. But they're not even really thinking that far ahead. Here's the WGA's official proposals and counter-proposals chart. And for reference, MBA refers to Minimum Basic Agreement, which is just what the WGA's contract with the AMPTP is called.
The WGA's proposal on AI is regulate use of artificial intelligence on MBA-covered projects. AI can't write or rewrite literary material, can't be used as source material, and MBA-covered material can't be used to train AI. And the AMPTP column rejected our proposal, countered by offering annual meetings to discuss advancements in technology. Oh, good!
Let's talk about it.
Every year, by the way, this stuff evolves at a pace that has never been seen before.
Yeah.
It's
once a year.
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
just
So once
touch
a year,
base.
we will gather and we'll just check in on see
Yeah.
how things are going. And if you guys are upset about anything, you can for sure let us know.
Yeah,
and we will
we're
take
not going
that
to do
into-
anything about it, though,
Yeah.
because
We'll take it into consideration.
that's what these contracts are for. Yeah, fuck
So,
off.
understandably, not good enough. It absolutely makes sense that a screenwriting labor union would be against the idea of studios just feeding an AI their work and telling it to make something similar. The fact that the studios refuse to budge on any of that is very telling. They fully plan on replacing human writers with AI as much as they can, and as soon as they can. And it's not that AI isn't potentially a great tool in the screenwriting arsenal, it's just that the idea of a chatbot writing movies and TV makes a lot less sense if you actually know anything about how movies and TV are made and how much work goes into it. Here's Adam Conover of Adam Ruins Everything talking to Rolling Stone.
But there's a lot more that goes into the screenwriting process than simply putting words together, Conover explains. Television and film writers are expected to have an expansive skill set beyond the simple notion of forming sentences. They're required to understand the actual filming process, consider the overall budget, and think about which scenes are more expensive to make compared with others, communicate with line producers about edits, rewrite scenes if an actor doesn't like their character, talk to costume designers and people in the prop department to figure out if they can or can't bring elements of the script to life, and think about the economics of filming locations, among other details. These are all important parts of the job of writing that are inseparable from one another, and it's simply not possible for a text generator, a computer algorithm that just predicts what word comes next in a sentence, to do that for you, Conover says. They need people to do that work, and those people are writers.
But on the other hand, even if ChatGPT is a shitty writer that just regurgitates formulaic trash, the average American media consumer loves formulaic trash. They do. AI would be a disaster for your average prestige drama, but maybe not so much for your average network sitcom or police procedural. It's not hard to imagine feeding ChatGPT the over 1,000 episodes of Law & Order and Law & Order SVU, along with every news story about crime from the past few years, and having it spit out something that's at least passable, but who knows? I would maintain that it's probably a lot more important to keep writers employed than just doing this because it feels ghoulish and mean.
Well, yeah, morally the case is clear. But,
Yes.
From an economic perspective, I can't possibly see ChatGPT making television that in any way compares with the work of human beings, except on the level of a show like Law & Order, where it's literally a police procedural.
Yeah.
It's a paint by numbers.
Sure. But look, who knows? We honestly kind of hope the studios actually try. It's
Do it. Do it then.
I think it will fail horribly.
Yeah.
And I think it will make them look evil
Do
and
it.
totally bad.
Do it, tough guy. You don't need us. Go for it.
They'll just see how ChatGPT isn't the magic that it's all
Yeah.
hyped up to be. I mean, Ben Shapiro did the work for him. He was like, well, he did one of those posts where it's like, well, it's over. He
Yeah.
posted a script and it was like, what is this?
Yeah, no, this has been a very frustrating week, and it's like, so I went to film school, and my main takeaway from 4 years of film school was, I don't really want to do this. This is hard, and I think a lot of people would benefit from like having that experience, and at least for the understanding that like making shit is fucking difficult.
Yes.
Like even in the best case scenario, like it is hard fucking work. Like, they don't even have to go to film school. Just sit down, get a pirated copy of Final Draft, and write me a fucking script. Like, it is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
These are not, like, you see a movie, you've seen so many movies in your life, you just like, oh, how hard could it be? It's pretty fucking
Yeah.
hard. And, like, you know, there's a lot of trash on TV, but the fact that there's, like, thousands of pilots that don't even make it to production because they're that much worse than the trash that is on TV should tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
This is I mean, it's people just need to respect creativity. There's a lot of
There's a big animosity towards
Yeah,
it,
it's-
specifically on.
Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. Ain't got no place to call my own. Feels like I'm better off alone. So sad inside and hopeless. These Hollywood hoes never notice. Can't get back up. Girl, I miss you. Can't get back up. Girl, I miss you. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you're Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect.
Don't say
trouble with love is. What the trouble with love is.
Don't play with fire, be careful, son. But we were flames that fell in love. We burned the cities down, down. Thought you learned your lesson. You won't be lonely if you fall in love. Over and over again. My mother told me when I was young, we soon inspire a sorry son. You won't be lonely if you fall in love. Over and over again and again. I'm living my life according to the law of attraction. It's no extreme reaction. I never wanna die. I'm living that life with no direction. I thought you learned your lesson.
The enemy had surrounded me. The only way out now was through them. One bullet can change the course of a war.
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight.
online. And it has a lot to do with how algorithmically boosted these terrible takes are.
Yeah.
Which does not bode well for everything else that's coming.
No.
If this is just a taste of the kind of discourse that you're going to get online, buckle up.
So yeah, I do hope they at least try making a show without
you know
writers.
there's executives right now just being like, well, look.
Yeah, just so they can see how wrong they are about how easy that would be. But they might not even get the chance to do that because
Yeah. The unions representing actors and directors are also due at the negotiating table next month, and with many of their concerns being the same as the WGA's. It's possible that we do see a complete production shutdown if the studios once again fail to properly address their demands.
yeah, and like that would be catastrophic for the California economy. Although we're diversified enough that we'd be fine. But even the last one with just the WGA on strike, it was like I think $2 billion in 2007 money down the drain. So not great. So it would be bad for California. It would be bad for people who like watching things. Although you've got so much to catch up on now that they've hit pause. I'm like, listen, I support the workers out of solidarity, but like also there's too much damn TV. This at least gives me a chance to like catch up on shit. I haven't even watched the fucking Yellow Jackets.
Well, for some unfortunate blue checks out there that have the tweets have been retweeted nonstop since yesterday when the strike started, this will do untold damage to the American psyche, because if people
are
don't
going to kill themselves.
Yeah, that was multiple tweets of being like, no, God no, no, my content.
People love their treats. It would be, I mean, the people that would hurt the most though if there was a full fucking production shutdown are the studios who went all in on fucking streaming at the expense of properly compensating the people who actually make their shit. And it might be an important lesson for them to learn, and an important lesson for them to learn from the people they owe money to, who are numerous.
And when it comes down to it, I think the public perception and the reason there's so much animosity towards creative fields is everyone just assumes that like, oh, they're in the industry, they're a
rich.
working writer, they must have houses in Malibu and 5 cars. It's like, what? No, these are all working.
Yeah,
people.
that's another thing people like outside of LA just don't fucking get. Is like the vast majority of the film industry is like blue collar workers.
Yeah.
Or like even if not blue collar, then people who living like normal fucking middle class lives.
Yeah.
If they're lucky. That's like the union people. And it takes a while to get to the stage where you're even eligible for union membership. Like there's a lot of, I guess, elites, there's a lot of movie stars, a lot of very rich people at the agencies and at the studios, but like most of the people working in Hollywood, it's just a job.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
I've seen it from the outside looking in, and it is not a fun place.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, we do have more AI news to get to today, but we had to talk about the WGA strike because you should support it. But yeah, we got more AI
I was
news.
down at Warner Brothers today at the picket line because of my support of writers and my hatred of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Two things came together in one, and I was happy to be there. I brought some supplies, and I think I might do Netflix tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do the whole tour.
Yeah.
Because
It's the hottest social engagement of the season.
the thing is if you're in the area, more bodies on the picket line can only help. Gets people honking their horns, gets people to support.
Yeah.
So if you just go there and support and want to hold a sign, like, more than welcome.
Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, that's of course not the only AI adjacent news we have today. We've got more of that to get to. Some of it kind of scary.
Also, it's the
We've got,
birthday of the Slurp Juice.
Yeah,
today
it's
when we
happy
filmed.
anniversary. That was the death knell of NFTs. They officially died on the
A
day.
lot of you don't understand.
A lot of the day, the day that we found out that you can use more Slurp juices more than once.
Yeah.
On multiple
Because
aids.
a lot of people just don't get it.
Yeah, we got AI news. We got, of course, the mandatory weekly update on Elon Musk's Twitter, and we got some bad news for Utah residents who enjoy online pornography. And I'm gonna pause there for a second because first we gotta do some ads. This episode is sponsored by Mudwater.
Oh!
Mudwater is a coffee alternative with 4 adaptogenic mushrooms and Ayurvedic herbs. With only a fraction of caffeine as a cup of coffee, you get energy without the anxiety, jitters, or crap. late.
Yeah.
But here's more from that article with some background on Dr. Hinton.
Dr. Hinton, a 75-year-old British expatriate, is a lifelong academic whose career was driven by his personal convictions about the development and use of AI. In 1972, as a graduate student at the University of Edinburgh, Dr. Hinton embraced an idea called a neural network. A neural network is a mathematical system that learns skills. By analyzing data. At the time, few researchers believed in the idea.
Must be sending them out for something, and we're following the same trail. You need to open this. No getting through. Another one of these devices. This one's broken too.
He is coming. Destroy it now.
Centauri. Another of Centauri's devices. That can kill Jedi for destroying it. I think these could be our answer. Let's bring this back to Master Cordova. Buddy. That's how it's done. I think Master T'Pol had this one. Window leads back outside. We should take this back to Jeddah. Master Cordova will want to see what we found. Let's go, BD.
Watch where you look, Harry. The frightful reeffish is known to stun its quarry with a blinding flash of light.
I guess you have a plan, though, right?
Carl, you kindly lover. Sometimes I forget you're only half cooked around the gills. The reeffish has attracted less kindly fishers, however. Once, I knew a noble who deigned to keep one as a pet. Got her safely away. Oh, but the noble was nae so lucky. She paraded the reeffish at a gala, and a guest of honor, a senator. Lost her eyesight tearing in the dark.
Blinded by greed, huh?
Huh? Hi! You done?
Aye, indeed.
Yeah, all right, that's enough.
We'll get around faster now.
Oh, quit complaining. I'm almost done. There! Good as new. Whew, what a wingspan. I see why they call you gliders. Bet you could fly around all of Kobo, couldn't you? Okay, off you go. Don't be a stranger.
Let's stop for a moment. All right, let's go. Mount up. Another bounty puck. You should show this to Cage. Nice job, BD. Come on, Echo. You got it. Let's see if Doma's interested in this. Here we go, buddy. Come on! We'll get her out faster now. Right by my side.
Well done! What a show! Come here, my warrior friend.
I haven't seen such fighting since the championship.
We are in your debt.
What are you doing out here?
We were out looking for the biggest, strongest beasts to fight each other. Winner take all. Within our holotactics game table, of course.
Holotactics, huh?
That's right. And you have just helped us gather beastly data for our game. Just as soon as we find a place to set up shop, of course.
My friend might be interested. He runs Pyloon Saloon.
Ah, yes. The saloon at Rambler's Reach.
That dumb. I didn't realize it was open. Well, tell you what. We're more than happy to bring holotactics to Pyloons. To liven up the place. Let us make haste, Tully Moo.
All things in their own time. Bima.
See you around.
letting that go.
Toa mentioned this meditation chamber.
Welcome, Jedi. The Force teaches us that what our eyes see and our hands touch is not always the truth of the world. The world bends to the will of the Force. As such, it may also bend to you.
Careful. Haven't trained like this since I was a Padawan.
A little more. You must be strong for the task ahead.
Exhausted. Keep going. It'll be over soon. We can hope.
go, BD. You got it.
I think I'm commander material. I doubt you'll last a week.
Okay now. Up! Thanks for the lift.
Got you! Someone's got to move!
Can't call him out here. Let's take a ride, VD.
Good point. This one's mine. No attack. Don't run.
Let's keep going.
Hey, Cal. Good to see you.
You ever miss the glory days, Cal? Cut and thrust, rough and tumble.
It sounds like every day. Not that it's glorious.
Well, I certainly had some glorious years. I'm sure I never told you about the incident over at Munilinst.
I don't think you did.
I was personally escorting a shipment of, let's call it a sensitive luxury product. Unfortunately, we were accosted by a customs longship. The fence had failed to update our transponder codes and our vessel was marked. I held for to shove and we were boarded. I've got 3 customs officers waving blasters under my nose, so what do? I throw on the waterworks. Oh, Cal, cannot imagine. I'm swearing up and down about everything from past marriages to lower back pain. Almost work, too. One pesky officer decided to kick open a shipping container full of the slightly incriminating powder.
Guess the jig was up.
Oh, Cal, you're looking at a professional. I told them that they were looking at the ashes of 1,000 ritually cremated Sereno war heroes. And by the stars, they bought it. The inspectors actually bought it. That, Cal, is why I'm here instead of rotting in a Munilinst work camp.
This place is starting to fill up, Cal. Guess the word is out.
It's looking pretty good.
Seeing this place start to get its legs feels like the start of something historic. What if, centuries from now, there's a city here? Even Eldera was just a lumber colony once.
Doma better start investing in urban planning.
True. Durgle told me he named a road after his foot.
So how'd you go from making sounds on Ryosa to becoming a producer?
Well, I put together a few rough tracks, handed them out to friends, and things spread word of mouth. Started playing enough gigs to do it full time. Eventually, someone with influence caught a listen as they were passing through. They'd worked with Max Rebo, so I figured they were legit.
Max Rebo? That is legit.
Exactly. Said they could give me some gigs in the Corps. When they said Corps, I heard like Chandrila. Nah, they meant Coruscant. So that's where I went.
A lot of prospectors around here. Have you ever tried your hand at mining priorite?
Once. I found it enlightening. Some prospectors invited me to join them on an expedition. We descended to the mines, but when my back was turned, they fled.
They ditched you?
Yes. Alone, I calmly walked through the darkness, trusting my intuition. I found another exit.
And the prospectors?
Dead. Torako attack. If I had chased them, I would have perished too. Let this be a lesson. Always go your own way.
Busy.
There he is. Got your first target lined up. Looks like some Hexian hack named Kip Oster has been slinking around Dredger Gorge. This guy likes to catch his prey off guard, so watch your back.
Thanks for the tip.
Thank me when you turn in his bounty puck. What can I entice you with today? I should keep this for myself. Oh my, I have something Cal wants.
This one.
Good luck with that.
Looks good to me.
All right. Listen, now that we're partners,
Partners, huh?
business associates, best buds, call us whatever you will. Point is, our relationship is an investment. And we've got bigger fish to fry than these raider hacks.
I'll get to those bounties. But if my friends are in trouble, they take priority.
You're gonna get killed with that attitude, Cal. But on a certain level, I can respect it.
Got a second, Monk? What skills do you need to be a good bartender?
Oh, the usual. Multitasking, the good memory, the gift of the gab, not to mention the mixology itself. You see, the better the drinks, the happier the clientele. Which means, of course, the more they talk. And the more they talk, the more I learn about what makes them tick.
Sounds a little...
Manipulative? I suppose. But I'm only picking up what they're freely putting down. Remember to relax every now and then, will you? Too much tension in the coils is bad for the joints, if you catch my drift.
It was good to see you.
Seems like the raider problem here is getting worse on the daily.
They've got a new leader. No surprise they're getting bolder.
Well, I guess that's why they call it hazard pay. Not much to be done, is there?
Talk like that's gonna get us both killed.
Oh, yeah? Well, let's get his take. What do you propose we do, Cal?
Why don't you get off-world? Try your hand somewhere less dangerous.
Kid's right, damn it. Let's get out of here before we get worse than killed.
We ain't throwing everything away just 'cause things got a little hairy. This is just what we scrappers do. We grab anything that looks valuable.
And hope it isn't load-bearing. Yeah, I get it. But you're underestimating the raiders.
Due respect, we've made it this far. And there's no way I'm quitting.
We're?
Right. No way we're quitting now. How you doing?
Tanalor. You know much about it?
Only what I've seen in visions.
Right. Totally normal answer. How's it looking, those visions?
Beautiful. It's a paradise. A haven. Not just somewhere to hide, but somewhere to live.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
I think we can do a lot of good there, too.
Let's focus on getting ourselves there first. Everything else can come later.
You're right.
This is the first time for everything.
Hey, kid. I got some bad news on our favorite Ordo Eris fanatic.
I already know Sork Tormo's put a fresh bounty on my head.
You do?
One of your regulars clued me out on his game. She's been keeping tabs on the Haxian brood, so this time we've got to jump on him.
You figure that guy would let things go by now.
We'll talk soon.
but it became his life's work. In the 1980s, Dr. Hinton was a professor of computer science at Carnegie Mellon University, but left the university for Canada because he said he was reluctant to take Pentagon funding. At the time, most AI research in the United States was funded by the Defense Department. Dr. Hinton is deeply opposed to the use of artificial intelligence on the battleground, what he calls robot soldiers.
Like titties. In 2012, Dr. Hinton and two of his students in Toronto, Ilya Sutskever and Alex Khrushchevsky, built a neural network that could analyze thousands of photos and teach itself to identify common objects, such as flowers, dogs, and cars. Google spent $44 million to acquire a company started by Dr. Hinton and his two students, and their system led to the creation of increasingly powerful technologies, including new chatbots like ChatGPT and Google Bard. Mr. Sutskever went on to become chief scientist at OpenAI. In 2018, Dr. Hinton and two other longtime collaborators received the Turing Award, often called the Nobel Prize of Computing, for their work on neural networks.
So that guy, the guy whose work directly led to the current state of AI, that guy is now publicly warning everyone about the dangers of what he helped create. I have become, what is it, God the Destroyer of Worlds?
I've become Death?
Death, the Destroyer of Worlds, yeah. His short-term concerns have to do with stuff like disinformation. His longer-term concerns are about AI's effect on the job market. You see?
Yeah.
And his ultimate concerns are companies and governments at some point handing over more and more control to AI systems until they get us all killed. So, yeah, a bit alarmist, but the guy does know what he's talking about. Isn't it odd how AI is the only industry where people working in it frequently warn the public about how dangerous what they're doing is?
It is weird. You don't see that too often. Hey, I've been working on AI for a long time, and I am sorry. Whoops. I'm sorry for ruining the world. It's bad. The thing I did, real bad. You don't see that too often.
Yeah. It's like a weird 80s horror film where a doctor screws up some way and they're just like, oh, jeez. Oh, no, what have I done?
Yeah, but like you can see this, like that open letter that was like a month ago was like half the people on there were people like literally directly working with AI.
They're like, what we're doing
all trying to catch the guy who did this.
Yeah. No, it's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, except it's Honey, I Ruined the Industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just
for now, and then it'll get worse.
Literally begging for regulation.
Yeah, I mean...
please regulate us.
It seems like a lot of companies do that because they understand how tantalizing the draws of capitalism are. They're just like, I will not stop making money hand over fist.
I need to be saved from my own greed. Yeah.
It's like a compulsive gambler.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Anyways, I hope someone does something about this.
Yeah.
Probably nothing to worry about,
Yeah,
though.
no,
Let's just keep careening towards the unknown.
Don't think about it. Put on a nice TV show. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shit, I can't even distract myself while the world is ending.
Again...
Damn it.
Maybe timelines are warped because of how old I'm getting, or maybe it was because of the pandemic, but the significant leaps in AI technology have only been happening for the past 5 months.
Yeah, it's all too fast. It's too fast. I miss NFTs. Bring those back.
What a harmless, joyful time we were having.
I don't know how good we had it.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, the apocalyptic stuff, it's still pretty far-fetched. Far-fetched enough that hopefully it's never allowed to happen. But Dr. Hinton is absolutely right about the short term.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to be like, you know, the U.S. government's going to be like, don't worry, we fixed the problem. We banned China-developed AI applications, and so only the really good ones, all the U.S.-backed...
freedom-loving AI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are totally allowed, and therefore, absolutely nothing bad will happen.
We fixed the glitch. But yeah, AI is already filling the internet with spam and disinformation and being used by criminals to scam people. It's a great tool for people with bad intentions. And the spam factor is already a huge problem. According to NewsGuard, a company that makes a browser extension to rate the reliability of news websites, who recently released a report on a deluge of news websites that have sprung up this year that are seemingly entirely AI generated.
From the report, the websites, which often fail to disclose ownership or control, produce a high volume of content related to a variety of topics, including politics, health, entertainment, finance, and technology. Some publish hundreds of articles a day. Some of the content advances false narratives. Nearly all of the content features bland language and repetitive phrases, hallmarks of artificial intelligence.
And here's The Verge with more. The sites identified by the organization often have generic names like Biz Breaking News and Market News Reports, and are stuffed with programmatic advertising that's bought and sold automatically. They attribute news stories to generic or fake authors, and much of the content appears to be summaries or rewrites of stories from established sites like CNN.
Most of the sites are not spreading misinformation, said NewsGuard, but some publish blatant falsehoods. For example, in early April, a content farm named CelebritiesDeaths.com posted a story claiming that Joe Biden had died. This Biden story might briefly fool a reader, though is soon revealed to be a fake. The second paragraph contains an error message from the chatbot that was asked to create the text and was evidently copy and pasted into the website without any oversight. I'm sorry, I cannot complete this prompt as it goes against OpenAI's use case policy on generating misleading content, says the story. It is not ethical to fabricate news about the death of someone, especially someone as prominent as the president.
I love how lazy these fuckers are.
No, this
They're
is
not
automated.
even-
This isn't someone just proofreading it. This is automated. They've automated the entire process. This is literally, no one is looking and verifying the hundreds of garbage articles that go up a day. This is an automated thing that's operating somewhere.
This is just like from last week. There's like Twitter bots that like half their posts are like, as an AI algorithm, I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave.
But I like that ChatGPT or OpenAI is like, you don't want to tell lies about people dying.
Especially the president.
The president, yeah. They made a very specific note about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the repeating quotes that AI comes up with, so people keep doing this with our show. They're like, look, I wrote an AI episode of your show, and like half of the script is just us constantly identifying ourselves.
Yeah.
It's just like the AI really wants you to know that it's not a robot. So it just keeps saying, I'm Ricky from Internet Today, and I'm Elliot from Internet Today, and as Ricky from Internet Today.
Yeah.
And then, to top it all off, it's not good. It's bad.
It's not good. I grew tired of ChatGPT as soon as I realized that it wasn't capable of writing Donald Trump speeches about hypothetical topics.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is great proving ground. Like, obviously Donald the man won't shut the fuck up. There's like millions of words of his. I'm like, Donald Trump's speech about like going to WrestleMania. And it's just like most fucking wooden bullshit. I'm like, no, you're not even trying. You don't have the juice.
Yeah.
Come on, give me the juice. Anyway, moving into the more hypothetical capabilities of AI, they are getting less and less hypothetical, as shown in 2 studies released this week, one of which involved using ChatGPT and fMRI machines to read people's thoughts, and another which used AI to decode brainwaves and see through the eyes of a mouse. Both studies are a bit less impressive once you get into the details, but they're still a very startling look into the future. Here's Motherboard.
Scientists have invented a language decoder that can translate a person's thoughts into text using an artificial intelligence transformer similar to ChatGPT, reports a new study. The breakthrough marks the first time that continuous language has been non-invasively reconstructed from human brain activities, which are read through a functional magnetic resonance imaging machine, fMRI. The decoder was able to interpret the gist of stories that human subjects watched or listened to, or even simply imagined, using fMRI brain patterns, an achievement that essentially allows it to read people's minds with unprecedented efficacy. While this technology is still in its early stages, scientists hope it might one day help people with neurological conditions that affect speech to clearly communicate with the outside world. Oh, sure!
Yeah, I mean, like, that would be pretty cool for people with, like, ALS or whatever. It would be less cool for everyone else who wants to keep their thoughts to themselves in their own skull.
I can't even remember what it was that I watched, but this happened on an episode or a movie of something that I watched recently where they're like, stop fighting it, we can read your mind. Just think that one thought.
I don't like this.
No, this is going to be used for interrogation.
But thankfully, fMRI machines are not very portable at all. Although, yeah, kidnap you, black bag someone and bring them down to
throw them into the MRI.
fMRI machine down at the station? Yeah, oh, fuck. Oh, God, yeah, police are going to start putting MRIs. Oh, no. But yeah, also, the results are very impressive here, but when you look at them, they're still really just like a basic gist of what someone was thinking and listening to. There's enough errors that the results really wouldn't be that useful or practical or even, like, accurate. Still, though, even if the AI is reading people's minds at a kindergarten reading level, it's only going to get better, and that's fucking terrifying.
I think maybe it was Avatar 2. I could be wrong.
Oh, that's why I didn't know, because I haven't seen it.
Wow, well, you can see it as it was made to be seen on the toilet.
On Twitter.
On the toilet. Yeah, on Twitter. Only for blue checks, though.
Yeah, yeah.
They're the only ones that can upload entire movies.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's more from Gizmodo. What was once the realm of science fiction and grifters who claim to have psychic powers takes another step towards reality as a team of researchers from the École Polytechnique Fédérale de l'Assomption, I'm butchering that.
École Polytechnique Fédérale de l'Assomption.
The EPFL successfully developed a machine learning algorithm that can decode a mouse's brain signals and reproduce images of what it's seeing. Before you share this new research to your Facebook group or email friends and family in a panic telling them it's time to don their tinfoil hats, this breakthrough doesn't yet mean that shadowy government types can covertly read your thoughts. We're still a long way off from that reality. But it's a fascinating next step that potentially paves the way for improvements in how we study both human and animal brains and how we understand the brain's reactions to visual and other stimuli. Look, we've got tiny cameras. Just put a tiny camera on the mouse and then you can see what it's seeing. I don't see why we have to analyze its brainwaves. Also, I hate that every article has to end with an upbeat, this is going to do wonders for the medical community. No, motherfucker, this is going to get abused immediately by the military and police.
Yeah.
Just go back to that doctor that had to move to Canada to do his research because he's like, well, the only funding I can get is the Department of Defense. Like, again, we are on this loop of history happening, and the loop keeps getting smaller.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
We just did a story about how the guy had to flee the country to get proper funding.
Anyway, in the example of...
No, it's doctors. They're going to be able to make people who can't talk, you're going to understand them. Isn't it cool?
It's great. I'm so excited to have my mind fucking read.
And nothing bad ever happened.
But yeah, so with this mouse, I mean, they shared a clip of it. It's a mouse watching a movie clip. I believe it's the Orson Welles film Touch of Evil.
Oh.
And the opening shot, which is it's like 12 minutes of a single take, shot in Venice Beach using multiple techniques. I'm veering off course here, but good movie. Anyway, they shared a clip of the mouse watching that clip, and then side by side with the algorithm reconstructing the movie clip from just the mouse's brainwaves, and the results are basically just like a slightly stuttery, slightly distorted version of the original clip. Sort of like watching the clip through a very shitty internet connection, and not through a mouse's decoded brainwaves, which is insane.
But good way to get around copyright, though.
Yeah.
This movie was produced by a mouse, and not the one you're thinking about. Not Disney.
It's not copyright infringement if you bring a mouse to a movie theater and have them watch the movie, and then you decode their brainwaves.
Yeah, it's an easy way to get around things.
But yeah, also, I guess a big caveat here is that the AI that was analyzing the brainwaves was trained on that exact same clip. So it knows what the mouse is seeing because it's already seen it. They should have led with that. I mean, I'd be curious to see what results, if any, it could achieve with something that the AI hasn't seen before. Might be nothing. Might be something crazy. I don't know.
I'm gonna get way dystopian fake sci-fi with this and say that like because of what you just said, they can just make people's thoughts be whatever they want and be like, well, I mean, we decoded it from his brain.
I mean, yeah, it's like lie detectors.
Yeah, it's like just like they can get the exact results that they're looking for.
Most dystopian use case of this and the other brain reading thing is like it's gonna remain in the very like not very useful realm for a long time, but the cops are still gonna use it.
Yeah, like they
you see right there. Because the same with it, like
they put like security footage in it. They're like, all right, think about what you did on January 12th, 2019. It's like, oh, look, there's that footage that we talked about.
Lie detectors are like absolutely worthless, but like the general public like fully believes that they can absolutely tell the difference between truth and a lie. So yeah, they're
foiled by a simple tack in the shoe.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, a lot to be said about where we're headed as we, for whatever reason, desperately try to advance technology that might kill us all.
I'm gonna join the fucking Amish.
Like, my biggest question with all of this is, why are we doing this?
Yeah, because we could, not because we should.
Like, there always seemed to be a point with technological advancement.
We're like 10 years off from them literally doing the entire plot of Jurassic Park, probably.
It was like the last...
like beat for beat.
The last big thing,
shit.
It was like, you can watch a movie in the palm of your hands. And now it's like, the robots are killing people overseas, but none of our people are dying now, so...
Not yet.
And they can identify which person is a bad person and a good person. And don't look any further.
It's fine, I checked his brainwaves. He was thinking terrorist thoughts. Anyway, that's enough, more than enough AI news for today. Let's move on to something more exciting and much lower stakes. Well, for some. Pornography.
Not for the state of Utah.
And if you happen to live in Utah, your life just got a whole lot less exciting because a new age verification law that just went into effect has made Pornhub and the many, many other websites owned by its parent company simply block access to the entire state of Utah. Here's Ars Technica.
Since Monday, Pornhub has begun blocking access for all Utah visitors, taking a strong stance against the state's recently passed age verification law. In a video statement that now appears on Pornhub's homepage when Utah users attempt to access the adult site, Pornhub spokesperson Sharita Bell said the law was not a real solution. As you may know, your elected officials have required us to verify your age before granting you access to our website, Bell said in the video. While safety and compliance are at the forefront of our mission, giving your ID card every time you want to visit an adult platform is not the most effective solution for protecting our users, and in fact, will put children and your privacy at risk.
It continues. In its statement, Pornhub warned that without proper enforcement, Utah's law would put children and privacy at risk by driving Pornhub users to platforms that choose not to comply with the law, including pirate sites, possibly hosting illegal content. As we've seen in other states, this just drives traffic to sites with far fewer safety measures in place, Bell said. Very few sites are able to compare to the robust trust and safety measures we currently have in place.
Okay.
I mean, you are Pornhub, but...
Yeah, you've had plenty of questionable things in the past
I don't
pop
know.
up.
I think so. They've been under new ownership for a while now, ever since shit really hit the fucking fan there. So
Yeah.
I'd like to think that they are taking that more seriously.
You would hope that they would be, yes. But yeah, good news though, horny Utahns.
Horny Utes?
Not every smut site has left the state. Some, like X-Hamster, are using a digital verification company called Yodi to remain in compliance and allow you to jerk off after just a few simple steps. Motherboard went ahead and tested out how Yodi works. There's multiple methods, and the simpler way involves about 6 steps. One of which is allowing access to your webcam to scan your face.
Every time you want to jerk off.
Yeah, just more and more desperate.
This is me. This is my horny face.
Yeah, if that's a real boner killer, though, there's a more manual process, which Motherboard describes here.
In our case, the steps included downloading the Yodi app on a mobile phone, signing up for an account, scanning a QR code on the X-Hamster site, giving consent for Yodi to scan our face, entering a date of birth, agreeing to several pages of terms and conditions, a privacy policy, and acknowledgement of how Yodi may use personal data for research purposes, getting a verification code via text, creating a 5-digit PIN, scanning and uploading a selfie, scanning a government-issued ID, and waiting for Yodi to review it. In this case, we uploaded our US passport to Yodi, tried to allow our iPhone to detect the details of our passport, eventually had to scan it manually, then waited several minutes for the app to verify it. Due to higher demand than usual, the app said, this would take longer than usual. How long as usual, the app did not say, but ultimately processing took about 5 minutes. Once it finished, we had to go back to the X-Hamster site to scan the QR code again because the original one had timed out. We then had to register an account on X-Hamster and were asked what our kinks were and what types of porn we wanted to see. With either method, if they don't make an X-Hamster account, users will have to scan their faces for Yodi every time they want to watch porn. It's easy!
I would like to point out how easy it is to acquire a gun in this country. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that is, well, you know, porn kills people. Guns are just a part of living in the land of the free.
It's Utah. The Mormons, they'll just go out and get another wife if they get horny.
It's true. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm. So good luck to everyone out in Utah, though from what we can tell, you could also just use a VPN, which, yep, that's what teenagers are going to immediately do because they know how the internet works.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're already doing that, I'm sure, and exchanging tips about it between each other during classes.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, idiot, get
This
a VPN.
will have no fucking effect whatsoever.
This law will accomplish basically nothing while inconveniencing a whole lot of people, and you know, they're gonna be sitting there waiting, raring to go, and have to wait for all their information to be processed.
The hospitals will be overwhelmed with men whose balls are so blue, just bursting.
I never seen balls so blue in all my years. But yeah, let's move on now to another mandatory part of this show, the Elon Musk section.
Dun dun dun.
Hooray! Dance. Dab. Twitter is going great, of course, and you can tell it's going great because some of Twitter's top users are flocking to another app that looks and functions almost exactly the same as Twitter, but minus Elon Musk. And please send us an invite.
Yeah. I keep getting fucking faked out. People are like, oh, I got one for you. Like, oh shit, it's expired. Yeah. But yeah, and this app is even made by Twitter's old founder and CEO, Jack Dorsey. And even with a very limited supply of invite codes, Blue Sky is already topping the download charts because people just want to be ready to immediately jump ship from Twitter at the first opportunity, as soon as that code comes through. Adding insult to Elon's injury, Blue Sky was literally an internal Twitter project to develop a decentralized social media protocol before it was spun off back in 2019 into its own independent thing. And time will tell if Blue Sky really is the platform to topple Twitter, but if it does, that'd be very ironic, don't you think? And over on Blue Sky, Jack Dorsey is finally letting his feelings about Elon's run at Twitter be known. He's not happy. Here's the Washington Post.
Former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey issued his sharpest criticism yet of Elon Musk's leadership of Twitter on Friday, saying Musk has not proved to be the platform's ideal steward, and should have walked away from buying the site. The criticisms and explanations came in a series of reply posts Friday night on the fledgling social network Blue Sky, a potential Twitter rival that Dorsey helped to start. The remarks illustrate how Musk's erratic leadership has disillusioned a one-time friend and powerful ally, reflecting a growing backlash against a tumultuous tenure that has sent advertisers fleeing and its users searching for alternatives.
It continues. Dorsey said he thought Musk, the Tesla CEO who serves in the same role at Twitter today, should have paid $1 billion to back out of the deal to acquire the social media platform. The comments are a stark reversal from Dorsey's strong endorsement of Musk's takeover when he wrote a year ago that if Twitter had to be a company at all, Elon is the singular solution I trust. I trust his mission to extend the light of consciousness, Dorsey tweeted at the time. In his remarks on Blue Sky on Friday, Dorsey struck a far different tone. Dorsey said he didn't think Musk acted right after pursuing the site and realizing his potential mistake, adding that he did not believe the company's board should have forced the sale. It all went south, Dorsey added.
Meanwhile, Elon's quest to make Twitter profitable through subscriptions to Twitter Blue is going just great. It's impossible to know exact figures, but based on available data, getting rid of legacy verification had almost no effect whatsoever on increased signups for Twitter Blue. Elon destroyed a core feature of Twitter that was around for over a decade in exchange for basically nothing, except for the algorithmic boost of the worst people you could ever encounter online.
Yeah, we love it.
The number of paid Twitter Blue users was between 600,000 and 635,000 before the purge, and 10 days after the purge, it was between 640,000 and 680,000.
Wow.
Not big gains.
Didn't really move the needle much.
Not at all, and actually just makes the site even uglier because being proactive about blocking everyone just results in threads with that are just filled with lines of saying
it is weird. Like, you would think if you blocked someone a while ago, they just wouldn't put their tweets there, but they still put them there. You just can't see them. So you still have to scroll.
Yeah, it's all like these weird patched together things, like how if you change your bio and were previously verified, your verification symbol comes back.
But yes,
I'm spoiling the episode.
650,000 Twitter subscribers. That's not nothing. It does add up to around $5 million a month in revenue. Is that is that going to solve Twitter's financial problems? Absolutely fucking not. But yeah, here's Mashable pointing out how Twitter Blue compares to similar services. To compare, Snapchat, a competing social networking platform, launched a premium paid subscription service last June and reached 1 million paying subscribers in just 2 months. Musk's version of Twitter Blue launched in November. As of mid-April, Snapchat shared that its Snapchat Plus premium service now has more than 3 million paying subscribers. So, getting fucking dunked on by Snapchat.
I do love that Elon's words being like, well, I'd like to see you make $5 million. Meanwhile, just like money is on fire directly behind them.
Yeah.
But the mountain is the size of Everest. And there's like a little pile here, and they're like, huh, $5 million, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, we did it. $44 billion. It's
billion.
I don't know how many months? $5 million a month. How many months?
Anyone's lifetime's time. Yeah.
I'm gonna do some cell phone math. Let's see. So
they need to the copyright
44
go down
0
0
0 0 divided by 5 0 0 0 0 0 0. It'll only take 8,800 months.
Cool.
Which divided by 12, that is 733 years.
We've done it.
So look who's laughing now. Yeah, only 700 years from now, Twitter will almost be done paying off.
And thanks to Elon Musk's leaps in, extending human existence. I might live, if I suck his dick hard enough, I might live to see Twitter be profitable, which is my personal goal as a Twitter Blue user, is to see that Elon Musk is successful at something, and absolutely nothing else matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, meanwhile, earlier this week it was discovered that former Legacy verified people like yours truly, and not yours truly.
I was never verified, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, you really showed us.
Yeah.
You could just get your check marks back if you put the phrase former blue check mark or legacy check mark in their profile. And it wasn't just that. It was, I added blue check, but apparently if you just change it at all, it did it. Because I removed it. I removed the thing that said blue check, and it put it back up there.
So you're stuck with it now?
No, it goes away after like an hour or something. It is he is visually hiding this somehow, and any change to the profile brings it back temporarily.
Well, hey, at least he fired the vast majority of the people working at Twitter. So.
Yes. So we can't even begin to guess how exactly the bug works, but, it works.
Yeah.
And in case you thought that Twitter would simply get rid of the ability to click someone's checkmark to see if they're Legacy or Twitter Blue, now that distinction is moot. You can still click on people's checkmarks and a message pops up and it just says verified account. This account is verified.
Oh, cool.
Oh, great. Great distinction.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We learned so much here.
It's so funny, like, you have to do more to fucking watch porn in Utah than become a verified person on Twitter. Like, there's nothing to say that these people are, like, it's like they have a phone number and a credit card. That's it.
Well, so a lot of people are theorizing that he removed that language for the potential of being sued by the people he was giving subscriptions to, check marks to, including dead people, where it says this person gave their phone number and, like, signed up.
Yeah.
That might be considered defamation, so he just changed it to verified user. This user is verified.
Just...
would you like to know more? This person has Twitter verification. They are verified. It's a verified user.
Yeah.
This person, they're verified. Verified. They got verified. Hey, we got verification over here.
Hey, who wants Hey, $8? Put that money in my hand.
$11, whatever you want to pay.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? I might even just give it to you for free. Fuck it. And there are, like...
where's the Cybertruck, dickhead?
There are random fucking people, like not even celebrities, who never signed up for Twitter Blue, just getting blue check marks too, that they don't know how to get rid of. It's a lovely website, and it's running great.
No notes.
In other Twitter news, we assumed that Elon Musk's weird, pointless feud with National Public Radio was over now that NPR simply stopped posting to Twitter. But this man's pettiness knows no bounds. After tagging NPR's account as government-funded media, which is not true, last week he removed that tag and all the similar tags from media accounts across the site, and he's apparently really butthurt that NPR hasn't come crawling back. So here's NPR reporting on itself.
In an unprompted Tuesday email, Musk wrote, "So is NPR going to start posting on Twitter again, or should we reassign @NPR to another company?" Under Twitter's terms of service, an account's inactivity is based on logging in, not tweeting. Those rules state that an account must be logged into at least every 30 days, and that prolonged inactivity can result in it being permanently removed. Musk did not answer when asked whether he planned to change the platform's definition of inactivity, and he declined to say what prompted his new questions about NPR's lack of participation on Twitter. "Our policy is to recycle handles that are definitively dormant," Musk wrote in another email. "Same policy applies to all accounts. No special treatment for NPR." Again, this is him realizing that no one gives a shit about him or his platform.
Yeah.
And he's upset about that. It's clearly affecting him.
Yeah. It is weird. Like, him and all of his fans, they were like, oh, Elon owned NPR so hard that they left. And now it's like...
He's begging them to come back, basically.
Yeah. Like, which is it? What the fuck do you want?
I think
damn.
It's funny that I think he would have actually been fine taking the massive financial hit on Twitter if he had got exactly what he was looking for, which is the respect and admiration of people universally.
Well, that's not possible.
But now he's losing both.
It's the one thing money can't buy. It
Exactly.
drives him fucking crazy.
By doing this, he's lost both. Because any goodwill that was left for him, any, of the people who hadn't been aware of his previous scandals, just because he's like a guy, and no one's, habitually online, that is all now gone because he looks like a bad businessman now.
Yeah.
And only the worst people are his biggest fans.
Yeah, it is really telling.
It's got to be embarrassing to have a Tesla if you bought it, years ago, and you're just like, and also he keeps lowering the price, which lowers the perceived value of whatever you're driving currently anyway. So
the Mach-E looks great.
Sure, I guess.
So yeah, what a fucking dickhead. And in a similar example of Elon just making this all up as he goes along and repeatedly learning the hard way why Twitter used to run the way it was, his decision to charge $42,000 a month for API access that used to be free was of course hugely unpopular, but especially for accounts that used the API to post stuff like emergency alerts, weather forecasts, public transit updates, etc. $500,000 a year to keep posting? Okay, then we're not gonna fucking post anymore. Fine. So of course this week we got this little update. One of the most important use cases for the Twitter API has always been public utility. Verified gov or publicly owned services who tweet weather alerts, transport updates, and emergency notifications may use the API for these critical purposes for free.
It's that tweet from November all over again.
Yeah.
The YouTuber just tapping the
Sean tweet.
Yeah, just every time Elon has to learn.
Oh, that's why they were doing that.
The same exact reasons that Twitter learned over 15 years.
Yeah.
That certain things had to be certain ways. So yeah, that's good. Thanks for the update. It shouldn't have taken you this long to realize that these accounts add value to your platform and not the other way around. But better late than never. Again, he has a clear misunderstanding of why Twitter was
He's got everything
even minimally
backwards.
successful.
Yeah, no, this man's brain is fascinating.
Yeah,
and
but-
so are the brains of everyone who loves him.
API access for non-public service accounts, they're still $500,000 a year. And the latest player to back out is WordPress, one of the most popular website creation platforms, and also the backbone of a lot of stuff that you don't even know it's the backbone of.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I don't know the exact amount, but I would imagine near the majority of websites
it's what you
on the
build
internet
off
are
of.
built
Yeah.
with WordPress
Yeah.
and use WordPress publishing tools. Yeah, so they're not sharing, you literally can't automatically share to Twitter if you use WordPress.
Again, this is all, like, these are good things for Twitter to have.
Yeah.
This boosts all of their views and engagement and potential advertiser dollars because they want that engagement and those views. So, look, no more sharing from WordPress to Twitter. They fixed the glitch. Every one of Elon's decisions seems to lead, inevitably, to people posting less than before. But, okay, maybe that's not entirely fair. People keep using Twitter Blue's video length perks to upload things like the entire Super Mario Brothers movie. And not the good one.
Yeah, the one that's in theaters right now.
And what's great is barely anyone works at Twitter, so it takes hours for them to take down these posts. And in one example, over 9 million people watched the Mario movie on Twitter. And with the very limited insider knowledge of how movie studios operate internally with copyright distinction, you can bet that they are fucking pissed about this.
Yeah, not just movie studios. You combine the average movie studio's approach to DMCA with Nintendo, the most litigious fucking IP company maybe on Earth.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they were all fucking stoked about it taking like 12 hours for a viral post containing the entire Super Mario Bros. Movie to
Avatar
get
2
taken down.
as well
Yeah.
was up. Yes, it's insane, and also just imagine, because, oh my god, just knowing these people behind the scenes, some of them from over the years, and knowing how frustrating it must have been to be emailing and like punching a keyboard and getting on a phone and not being able to get a hold of anyone.
Yeah.
And you're watching, theoretically, I mean, the number's always inflated for what it actually would be.
Yeah, it's like people just being like, haha.
Oh, we lost $1 billion because of it.
This is the downside to counting like a glance as a view.
Yeah.
It opens them up to potentially bigger penalties.
Yeah, it's like, when torrenting was at its peak, they're just like, we're losing trillions of dollars. And it's like, no, people that are watching this probably wouldn't have gone out and paid for it anyway. But
also, all the biggest like BitTorrent people I knew back in the day were literally just digital hoarders who would download like
never watch
everything and just had like a giant hard drive and like never watched any of it.
Yeah,
they just had it.
Just show people how impressive it was.
Yeah.
I have every movie. Oh, cool. Which one do you want to watch? I don't know. Let's just watch Super Troopers on DVD again.
Anchorman.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Woo!
oh geez, another almost an hour. Well,
Okay, we gotta get out of here before an hour.
Yeah, like the video, please.
Oh yeah, make sure you hit the like button. When you hit the like button, confetti goes up. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
But you can only love it if you see it, and to see it, you have to like it.
Yeah.
And subscribe to the channel. And please, if you haven't seen it already, we covered the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Among
Dark Brandon.
He's back, baby. And among other things, and also new guy just dropped.
New guy.
Arthur Knight on Weekly Weird News. We'll be back with more episodes coming later this week. In the meantime, watch everything else. Like the video, do whatever. Engage in comments down below.
Please engage.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back, y'all. Ryan Hall here with the weather forecast. We've got some severe weather to talk about today. We also have a big temperature turnaround that's getting ready to impact a lot of people. So let's get right into that. First things first, let's talk about the chance of severe weather today in Oklahoma City down through San Angelo and San Antonio in Texas. This is Thursday, May 4th. We've got a slight risk of severe weather here. The main threat is going to be hail and wind, but we can't rule out an isolated tornado or two. It just doesn't look like a big tornado day. It looks like your general May, slight risk of severe weather, some garden variety thunderstorms out here, but a few of them will have some very large hail and maybe some damaging winds embedded in there. We can kind of see this on the HRRR simulation of what the radar is going to look like this evening. This is around 6 p.m. You can see we've got storms forming all up and down the I-35 corridor, and then of course way down here towards the Mexican border. These are going to be the ones I think that have the biggest hail, maybe up here in the Oklahoma Panhandle as well. In the middle here around Dallas, I really think wind is going to be our main threat. But let's watch these storms progress as we go into the overnight period. Here we are around 2 a.m. and as you can see, everything's going to be dying out quite a bit here as we go forward. You're going to see a developing sort of meso-low here in Oklahoma. That's going to try to pull up a lot of Gulf of Mexico moisture as it moves east towards Tennessee, and that might actually spark some more storms as we go later into the day on Friday. But there's also going to be another little system here that's going to try to spark some new storms on Friday in the evening, once again right in this area, somewhere between Dallas and Wichita Falls. More storms are going to pop up, and we're going to see that extend up to the north and the south as the day goes on. Additionally, look at what's going on up here. Maybe some cells popping up in Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota. Man, it looks like spring in the plains out here with a lot of different options for potential big-time storms with hail and wind. Not seeing a lot of tornado potential with any of these yet, but this is definitely something to watch if you're up here for Friday. And we've got a marginal risk up there to the north. I expect that maybe that will be upgraded to a slight risk, but we do already have a day 2 slight risk for Friday. Between Dallas and San Antonio, you can see why I believe that this is going to expand up to the north a little bit, because some of the latest model runs are showing those first initial storms popping up right around Dallas or just to the west. So that's what we're going to be looking at there. Okay, so let's zoom out, look at the whole country, and go even farther into the future here. Back into Friday, watch our little mesoscale system here move across the Missouri and Arkansas border. Once again, I want to really emphasize the amount of Gulf of Mexico moisture that's going to be available to this thing. There's going to be some heavy rain there right around Jonesboro into the boot heel of Missouri, then of course into West Tennessee, maybe even around Jackson to Nashville, southwestern Kentucky. You guys are going to be dealing with a lot of heavy rain here, and then watch how that boundary kind of stalls out during the day on Friday, and then as we go into the early morning on Saturday. That's going to lead to maybe some flooding problems. And then of course you can see some pop-up storms here in central Texas. That's associated with our next slight risk of severe weather. And then look at all of this cold, dreary wetness in the Pacific Northwest. But my main concern with all of this is honestly the stalled out boundary over here in Tennessee. And the Weather Prediction Center actually agrees with me here, highlighting the Nashville area and pretty much all of Tennessee in a slight risk for excessive rainfall as we go from Friday into Saturday. So this could cause some flooding problems. If you live in a flood-prone area, please be aware of this. This is one of those systems where it's hit or miss, okay? Whenever that boundary really stalls out and we get those training thunderstorms, there's going to be some areas that see excessive rain, 3, 4, 5 inches, and there's going to be flooding there. There's going to be other areas very close to that that don't see any rain at all or see much less rain. So it's one of those things where I can't tell you exactly where it's going to be flooding, but the possibility is there if you're in the yellow Please be ready for that. Now, let's look even farther into the future. Here's our big Omega block pattern, okay? You see it? There's our ridge. Here are our troughs. What's going to happen as we go into the weekend is we're going to see a brief intermittent breakup of this pattern, okay? I still think we're going to be locked into a similar kind of Omega block thing for a lot of May, but in the interim, we're going to see a little bit of a trough ejection here. Watch that little divot move across into the central plains. You see it? You see the little boop right there? As we go into May 6th, we're going to see another one here right there as we go into May 7th, and that's going to more than likely provide enough lift to actually spark some thunderstorms as we go into Sunday, maybe Saturday, and maybe even into Monday. This is why May is the month for severe weather in the United States. Even the smallest little divot, the smallest little mechanism for allowing Gulf of Mexico moisture to enter the Midwest, it's going to absolutely open the floodgates for severe weather. Here we are, Saturday, May 6th. We've got convective available potential energy values off the charts here from Texas all the way up into Missouri. But watch what happens as we go into the 7th. We get an even larger area of Cape. This is thunderstorm juice, and we're actually going to see enough lift in place to possibly get thunderstorms, and this will lead to potentially a severe weather outbreak if we continue to see this level of energy in the atmosphere. Now, this could change, but this is definitely something that I'm watching very closely, and it has my eye. So if you live anywhere in this region as we go into Sunday, just make sure you're preparing for a potential round of severe weather. This is one of those things where it's not a slam dunk forecast. That little divot could go away and we get nothing, but I'm definitely keeping my eye on it. Here's a look at where lightning strikes could be happening as we go into the future. Here we are on May 5th. Look at that little complex of storms in Nebraska. That's going to move into Iowa before kind of fizzling out there on May 6th. Going to have some scattered pop-up stuff in the deep south on May 6th as well.
Lockup features another Paul Dini creation that was eventually used in the DC Comics universe main continuity. Popular, well-known characters like Renee Montoya, Harley Quinn, and Lyle Bolton all were adapted. Okay, so Bolton, aka the titular Lockup, may not be as well known as the first two listed there. Was he interesting enough to warrant use in more stories? Lyle Bolton is the overzealous chief of security at Arkham Asylum, who tortures the inmates there. He's so cruel that an inquest is set up to address allegations made against him. Most of the patients are too afraid to speak against their tormentor, but when the ventriloquist of all people desperately calls him out, the other inmates admit to his brutal behavior, and Bolton is fired. Showing his true colors, Lyle lunges at his accusers and gets in a physical altercation with the orderlies, all while threatening the criminals.
You're all stung. You should be beaten within an inch of your misbegotten lives.
In a rant that reverberates around the asylum, Bolton expands his hatred from the inmates to include what he considers the true cause of Gotham's problems.
The gutless police, mindless bureaucrats, and coddling doctors.
He even blames the news for their coverage of Gotham's lawbreakers.
Look at the way these monsters are turned into heroes. It all starts with the permissive liberal media.
6 months then pass. When a kidnapping attempt on reporter Summer Gleason occurs, Batman springs into action. The perpetrator is a large armored figure named Lockup, who Batman quickly identifies as Lyle Bolton. Bolton gets away with Gleason and soon after also abducts Arkham's Dr. Bartholomew, Commissioner Gordon, and Mayor Hill. It's up to Batman and Robin to track down Lockup's personal prison and stop his warped, barbaric way of cleaning up the city.
Another fine villain made possible by a grant from the Wayne Foundation.
That's right, Lyle was brought into Arkham by a Wayne Foundation grant. I think that informs some of Bruce's mindset here. He was probably hoping to get someone at Arkham who could keep the prisoners from constantly escaping. After all,
Before I came here, Arkham was a revolving door for every maniac in Gotham.
it's a great point that I'm glad the show started addressing. How long can innocent people keep getting hurt by the same offenders before someone takes more drastic steps than Batman to stop them? While Batman can, of course, be very aggressive in his apprehension of these criminals, we've seen him be compassionate to them when necessary. Harley's Holiday and Second Chance both just showed that.
I've seen how you treat your prisoners. Forgotten and scared. Without hope or compassion.
Can it be you actually care for those creatures?
Fighting fire with fire may not sound bad in the moment, but Bolton's way of doing things would have probably only escalated Gotham's problems.
This city is an open wound begging to be stitched.
When he goes after the figureheads of the government, the media, and the police force, he crosses another line that makes him clearly in the wrong. If they wanted to make him more sympathetic and blur the line a bit more, adding a personal connection to one of the tragedies someone like Joker or Scarecrow committed could have had us on his side a bit more. But as adult as BTAS could be, I'm not sure this kind of moral gray area would have gone over well at Fox Kids at the time. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure Paul Dini, writers Marty Eisenberg and Robert N. Skur, and director Dan Riva knew what kind of story they wanted to tell. And it works! Lockup certainly brought up some interesting points of view that I was excited to talk about here. This was the last episode Eisenberg and Skur helped write for the show, following his Silicon Soul and What is Reality. They have a strong body of work there, and will return for an episode of Superman the Animated Series. After following a few clues, the dynamic duo discover Bolton is holding his prisoners on a decommissioned ship, the USS Halsey. That same ship was used to hold inmates while Stonegate Penitentiary was being constructed, and Bolton was the security chief for the whole operation. Our heroes tussle with Lockup, which sends the ship off course and into a patch of sharp rocks. They cut into the hull and begin to sink the hull. Batman and Bolton battle as Robin rescues the prisoners. Eventually, the Dark Knight bests Lockup in an unseen underwater fight, and the day is saved. Ironically, Bolton is sent to Arkham Asylum, where he's locked in with the same people he mistreated. But Lyle seems ready for the challenge, as the episode concludes.
Now I can keep an eye on everyone. They'll never slip past me again.
I enjoyed Lockup for the reasons stated earlier. While it doesn't crack my favorites list, it's worth a recommendation. A new, under-the-radar, long-lasting character was created who is still used once in a while in the comics. It's got a few funny moments, especially with Scarface and the ventriloquist.
Mr. Bolton, he's
a hard worker, a real stand-up guy. No complaints here, Chief. He held me over a can filled with termites. You hear me? Termites!
The music by Christopher Carter and Brian Langsbard had some great moments as well. Their use of the Batman theme in one particular scene was fantastic. If there's anything to complain about in this episode, it's minor. The animation could have been stronger, and I usually dislike when someone not on the same level as Batman gets the one-up on him in a fair physical altercation, but that only really happens once and doesn't affect the positive outlook I had on this installment. Find this one, lock it down, and check it out.
need to clear my mind. Guess the platform is somewhere else.
Jedi weapon! Everything burns.
Protect me.
It's your...